Monday, freehold, Superior Court. Bruce McLeod goes to trial. Bruce lost his home to eminent domain in the city of Long Branch in Beachfront North Phase 1. Bruce is an interesting case study on abuse of eminent domain. 4 years ago, this time, a little over 4 years ago, before Thanksgiving, I was there. I was one of two people who were there, other than Bruce himself and the Long Branch Police Department and other officials, when this took place. This took place when voicing your objection to the removal of your house and your property for eminent domain was not popular. There was no Metoza. There was no state coalition. There were no assembly people meeting to change the laws of the local housing and redevelopment law. There were no lawyers fighting over what they should get, should they even be removed. Bruce was probably not the first, but he was the most pronounced, because they put $140,000 in trust, which the law allows for them to do, the amount set by the city for what it's worth, and that was for a 17-room Victorian home on 10,000 square foot of land, less than 1 block from the Atlantic Ocean. He didn't want to leave, and he certainly didn't cooperate. But you know what? Capitulation on an involuntary seizure of private property should not castrate you. Quite literally, he was removed by police force. Excessive, in my opinion. Thank God no one was injured. There were no arrests, and there were no discharge of weapons. But there was display of weapons. And that, I think, is sad. Anyway, 4 years later, this matter is going to trial. The type of a trial that it's going to be is called the compensation trial. After all, the constitutions of both New Jersey and the United States of America require just compensation be paid when property is seized through eminent domain. $140,000 is not just compensation. It's not even compensation. It's an insult. His appraisal, which was rendered just a few years ago, was for well over close to $700,000. But this trial, Monday, will have nothing to do with other areas, like his civil rights, like notice and things of that nature. It's just going to be a fight over that 140 appraisal of the city by Mr. McGuire, who should be ashamed of himself, and the appraisal of Mr. Jones, who was retained by counsel, who was representing Bruce McLeod. Just compensation shouldn't just be for wood, plaster, dirt, bushes, stones, foundations, gas pipes. Just compensation has to be for the home, the view. How do you make Mr. McLeod whole? Well, one way would be to first apologize to him. Treat him like an upstanding citizen. Oh, yeah, I know, Bruce is tough to get along with. He's angry. He's frustrated. He's called the mayor and the council and the officials who have stripped him of his property names in public meetings. Sure, he's a bad guy for doing that. But you know what? You'd be angry. You'd be mad. You'd be frustrated. I don't know what you would have done over the last 4 years, still having no property and having your personal belongings still in storage and having no more than that $140,000 that was put in deposit, wherein now that 10,000 square feet has been re-equitized. There are condominiums built on it, all of which sold for $600,000 to over $1 million. Applied Group, the benefactor of his land, the head of it, was in prison for bribing elected or appointed officials for doing development projects like this. In the time that Bruce McLeod has had to wait to have his day in court, the man found guilty, Joe Barry, of the Applied Group of Hoboken, for bribing officials to do redevelopment and get state funding for redevelopment, has been in and out of jail. He has served his sentence. Yet, Mr. McLeod is still not compensated. What do you give McLeod? I know he'd take $1 million, and that's not in confidence. He shared that publicly with me. I think he deserves more than $1 million. I think he should get $1 million for the house and $1 million for what you put him through over the last 4 years. This is my opinion. I'm Kevin Brown. This was the Brown Report for Friday, December 1st, 2006. And if you're in the Freehold area, check the court calendar for Long Branch versus McLeod. Mr. McLeod is represented by Carlin and Ward, William Ward. He's got good representation. If you see me in the courtroom, say hello. I think we need to be there in support of him just sitting. The man did not lose it over the last 4 years. I don't know how many of us would have been able to compose ourselves under such circumstances. God bless us all.